Hello everyone, welcome. Today we are going to discuss about the seventh incarnation of Lord Vishnu, which is the Ram Avatar. So who is Sri Ram? Ram, as said earlier, is the seventh incarnation of Lord Vishnu. His father is King Dashrath and his mother is Queen Kaushalya. It is to be noted that King Dashrath had three wives, Kaushalya, Kaikeyi and Sumitra. They actually had no child, so to get a child they performed a yajna. And being pleased with their prayers, Lord Agni appeared from the fire of the fire sacrifice and gave the King Dashrath a bowl of sweetened rice, which you usually call kheer. And this sweetened rice had to be shared among the three wives of King Dashrath. And eventually this is what happened. They shared among themselves and they got pregnant and the four brothers were born. Kaushalya gave birth to Ram, Kaikeyi to Bharat, and Sumitra to Lakshman and Shatrughna. Moving on about Ram, Ram got married to the daughter of King Janak, who is also known as Janaki, that is Sita. There was the Swayamvar of Sita and Ram won her in the Swayamvar and thus they got married. Ram is also known Maryada Purushottam, the standard man par excellence. He is someone who has never deviated from the path of Dharma. Throughout his life, he has always followed Dharma, that is, righteousness. He is known to be an ideal son, ideal brother, ideal husband, ideal friend, ideal king, in short, an ideal person. As you are all aware, the author of Ramayana is Sage Valmiki. Sage Valmiki once was wondering who is such a person who actually possesses all virtues and who practices dharma, righteousness. So he asked this question to Sage Narad, that is there someone who is full of virtues and someone who practices righteousness in this world? Narad replied, Ram is the one who possesses all good qualities in perfect manner. He is of firm resolve, friendly to all beings, forgiving by nature, faithful, loyal, obedient, brave, courageous, and above fault finding. From then on, Sage Valmiki decided to write down the story of Ram, which has been known as the Ramayana. Let's move on to an important character of the Ramayana and who is known as Ravan. I guess all of you know Ravan being the king of the demons and he was the king of Lanka. It is to be noted that Ravan was a really great devotee of Lord Shiv. He has been practicing great penance and he did meditation as well. He practiced penance and being pleased with him, Lord Brahma appeared. Lord Brahma granted him a boon that he will neither be killed by deities, which you call gods, and nor by any demon. After getting the boon, now he knows that no one can kill him. He assumed that actually no one can kill him. So he started persecuting the innocent people, the virtuous people, and the sages too. He wanted to possess everything. Thus, it was important for the Lord to incarnate to come on earth, to descend on earth, to punish Ravan. And thus Lord Vishnu came as a common man, neither as a deity nor as a demon, but a common man to punish Ravan. Now let's talk about the banishment of Ram. As you are aware, King Dashrath had 3 wives. Among them is Kaikeyi. Kaikeyi asked King Dashrath 2 boons. Actually, she was instigated by Manthara, her maid, her servant, who was evil. So, Kaikeyi asked Dashrath 2 boons. 1. 14 years of exile for Ram. 2. Coronation of Bharat. He's Bharat. Now, Dashrath had actually no other option than accepting the demands of Kaikeyi. Why? Because once Dashrath actually promised Kaikeyi, any time in life you can ask me 2 things and I'm going to grant you. And now it was the moment where Kaikeyi asked these 2 boons to Dashrath. Unfortunately, Dashrath could not refuse. So Ram got banishment. He accepted to go to the forest without any arguing, without complaining. Why is he being sent to the forest? For what reason? Actually, this shows how obedient Ram was. And please note that Lakshman and Sita also went with Ram to the forest. The journey of Ram, Lakshman and Sita in the forest. When it was decided that they had to go to the forest, they renounced their royal clothes. They wore very simple hermit clothes, and all of them they went to the forest. Now they had to cross the river, and they needed a boatman for that. Kevat, the boatman, helped them to cross the river. Ram actually had nothing to give to Kevat as a payment. And Sita, she could understand the situation of her husband, and thus she removed one of her rings and she offered that to Kevat as the payment of his service. But Kevat refused that. Why did he refuse? Because according to him, the greatest payment, the greatest fare he got after doing such a work was the blessings of the Lord. Nothing can be compared to the blessings of the Lord. Kindly note that Kevat belonged to the low caste. He was uneducated, he was illiterate, yet he could please the Lord with his pure love, pure devotion. So they crossed the river, and Ram, Lakshmana and Sita, they went in the forest. They met many sages, many saints in the forest. They learned from them. They practiced meditation. They did penances. They were actually living in a hut. And as you know, Sita was kidnapped in the forest by Ravan. When Sita was kidnapped, Ravan took her in his aerial chariot. And while Ravan was taking her away, Jatayu the bird saw Sita, and Jatayu tried to save Sita from the grip of Ravan. But he could not, because Ravan actually had chopped off one of his wings. Jatayu had enough time to meet Ram and Lakshman, who were by that time actually in search of Sita already. So Ram and Lakshman met Jatayu, who was wounded. The bird could tell Ram that Sita was taken to the southern direction, that is, towards Lanka. It wasn't sure yet, okay, it was in Lanka, but towards Lanka, at least in the southern direction. And here it is so important to know that Ram performed the final rites, what you call the funeral of Jatayu. See how lucky the bird was, as it died in the hands of Ram, and Ram himself performed his funeral. That is actually one of the greatest blessings he got from devotion. After meeting Jatayu and after the funeral of Jatayu, they continued to search Sita, and Ram met Shabri. Ram and Lakshman went to the hut of Shabri. Shabri was an old woman who was actually waiting for Ram since years and years. Her guru sage Matang once told her that Ram would come to meet her. And from that very day, every day she was cleaning her hut. She was cleaning the yard. She was plucking fruits. Why? Because she couldn't afford to lose time when Ram will come. She can't say, okay, Ram, wait, I'm going to pluck some fruits for you. No. She actually did all those things every day, and she waited for Ram to come, and eventually when Ram came, she wasted no time and she could welcome Ram and Lakshman. Shabri died in the feet of Ram. Such a great destiny she had. Shabri was from the low caste. She was uneducated. She was illiterate. Yet, she attained perfection because of her devotion towards the Lord, towards Ram. She had patience, she had determination. That's why throughout all these years, she has been waiting for the Lord to come. After the meeting with Shabri, Ram proceeded to the Pump Lake, where he actually met some ape-like men like Hanuman. They actually got the jewelries of Sita, which Sita threw when she was traveling in the aerial chariot. Ram met Hanuman also in the forest. He met Sugriv also in the forest, and Ram established a friendship with Sugriv. You have Vibhishar also, Vibhishar, the brother of Ravan, who came to surrender himself to Ram. So Ram now met so many people, ape-like man and others, and now he could build the bridge to go to Lanka and was successful in defeating the demon Ravan, and thus Sita was rescued. After rescuing Sita, they all returned to Ayodhya, and there Ram was made the king of Ayodhya. When we say Ram has always followed Dharma, Dharma, as you know, means righteousness. Dharma means ethics, codes of conduct. There are 10 principles of Dharma which Ram has followed throughout his life, which are fortitude, forgiveness, restraint, non-stealing, purity, control of senses, intelligence, knowledge, truth, and absence of anger. These are the 10 principles of Dharma which need to be followed. Universal love. Ram loves all. Whoever comes to Ram, Ram accepts him or her wholeheartedly, without any discrimination, without any difference. He loves everybody, irrespective of the person's caste, color, power, status, and position. The perfect examples for these are Kevat and Shabri. Ram met them. Kevat and Shabri showed their love, their pure devotion to them, though they were from low caste, though they were illiterate, yet they knew how to please the Lord, how to be good, how to be nice, how to do good actions. So Ram loved them. Ram showered his blessings on them. Ram showered his love on them, on Kevat and Shabri, by blessing them. Ram also showed his love and respect to Jatayu. That's why he even performed his funeral. And as you all know, Hanuman was very dear to Ram too. Vibhishan, the brother of Ravan, he took refuge at the feet of Ram, and Ram heartily accepted him, welcomed him. Despite the fact that Vibhishan was the brother of Ravan, and Vibhishan was also from the Demon clan, from the Demon family, yet Ram accepted him, loved him, showered his trust, his respect, his love towards him. Friendship with Sugriv. Sugriv lost his kingdom from his brother, also known as Bali, or you may say Valli. Ram offered his help, and he promised Sugriv that he can help him to defeat Bali, and eventually that happened. Bali was defeated by Ram. And in turn, Sugriv too promised Ram that Sugriv will help Ram in finding Sita. And he did that also. They actually established a friendship among them. They promised each other something and they fulfilled it. This is what we learn from this small story. We learn to always respect and help our friends in times of needs. Defeat of the demon Ravan. Ram invaded Lanka thanks to that bridge and to all those with him. He invaded Lanka and he defeated Ravan. There was the fight, there was the battle. He defeated Ravan. And as per the boon of Brahma, no deity and no demon actually killed him. It was Ram who came, who incarnated, who is the God incarnation, and he came to kill Ravan. He could have killed Ravan within moments, even without the help of all those people, without the help of Jamvant, Jatayu, and other present there. He could have killed Ravan within moments. But he actually did all these to show us something. He was humble. Ram was humble. He accepted help from all. irrespective of their qualities, the way they are. Ram had equal vision towards all, and Ram is impartial. Indeed, we learn so many things from this Ram Avatar. It is often said that we should live as Ram lived. He is a Purna Avatar, a full incarnation. He did not only kill demons, but he has set good examples for us to follow. As we said, he is a path maker. He showed how to be an ideal son by obeying his parents. Ram taught us that one should be an ideal husband too. He has always remained faithful to Sita. He had set Ram Rajya, which you can call the perfect governance or the ideal state or the ideal country in Ayodhya. In Ayodhya, there was Ram Rajya. He had all the qualities of a perfect king. His subjects were happy, healthy, prosperous. All of them had food. No one was unhappy. He even sacrificed his personal life for the sake of his subjects. He sacrificed his own wife. Sita went again to the forest when she was pregnant. And he did that for the sake of his subjects. He was selfless in his actions as the king. As a person, Ram personifies the characteristics of an ideal person, which you call the Purushottam. Uttam. Purush means man. Uttam means ideal. Purushottam. He had within him all the desirable virtues that any individual would seek to aspire. We say like the forgiveness, control of anger, etc. And he fulfills all his moral obligations without fault. Ram is considered as Maryada Purushottam, or the best of upholders of Dharma. Ram's life and comments emphasize that one should pursue and live life fully, completely, happily. That all the three aims of life are equally important. That is virtue, desires, and wealth. This is actually the four Purusharthas. Dharma, Artha, Kam. Dharma is virtue. Artha is wealth. You need wealth to live. Kam, desires, sensual and sexual pleasures. All these form part of life. Through all these, through Dharma, Artha, Kam, this will lead us towards moksha. And this is what Ram has showed us in his life. Ram also adds that one must also introspect and never neglect what one's proper duties, appropriate responsibilities, true interests, and legitimate pleasures are. Thank you all for your attention. Namaste.